People have a lot of fears. Artists have a lot of fears. Unusual fears among the many usual fears. One of those many big fears that artists have is something very simple. A bright white sheet of paper. So, why would the bright white sheet of paper be so fearsome, you ask? Most artists have specific perspectives on why a blank sheet of paper is scary. But many of them would agree that drawing on a blank sheet of paper only sets them up to fail. Either by cluelessness, fear of imperfection, or the audacity of the paper staring at you with its empty face. I used to be like this as well, a long time ago, but eventually, things changed out for me. Hi, my name is Kite. I'm a dark fantasy and comic artist. It took me a long while to get there where I am today, but there's always a few memorable decisions that I would like to share. One of those is how I abandoned drawing on lined paper in favor of drawing on clean white sheets of paper or clean paper in general. I'm not here in this video to discourage people from drawing on lined paper. I've seen amazing art done on lined paper. But here's the thing. I want you to be much less deterred in this video from trying to draw on a blank sheet of paper or paint on a blank canvas. I'll start by giving my perspective from when I was a sweet and humble beginner. So around 2020 and before that, I remember most of my artwork being nothing but crude doodles. I wasn't that well versed in things and I was kind of carefree. Though, a lot of my older stuff was a bunch of doodles in lined notebooks. I did have a few drawings and illustrations on blank paper, which I was working on a comic from a long while ago. For the most part though, most of my artwork was done on lined paper. I didn't see this as a problem. Drawing on lined paper felt very much at home and comfortable. But that's the problem. It felt comfortable, even though it was wrong. In a way, the lined sheet of paper was affecting my art abilities subconsciously, since I used a lot of cross-hatching and line work for my art. This wasn't the worst criminal in terms of hindering my art progress, but it was a huge one. I noticed that even on the same quality of paper, with lined and blank sheets of paper, I ended up liking how freeing the experience on the printer paper was. I was able to see the differences with my artwork by comparing it with the blank sheet of paper and lined paper. I noticed something very significant. I felt more free in my art. There were no more conflicting lines from the lined paper obstructing my artwork. Every line I put on the piece of paper stood out significantly. Not just by a little, things felt a lot more noticeable. I also experimented drawing with higher quality paper, like Bristol paper and pen and ink drawing paper. This made it feel a lot better when I wanted to try and make fine pieces of artwork. However, when I wanted to draw a regular sketch, I used rougher paper, like mixed media or just regular sketch paper. If you have a very stubborn and dense comfort zone, I would suggest making your transition with dotted paper. Dotted paper gives you enough freedom and flexibility, but it offers sort of a cage, which offers some guidance to your hand and mind. There's also a lot of high quality dotted paper available on the market. The main reason you should give up your fear of blank paper is because it hinders your freedom and you would never be able to really see your artistic flaws. Once you spent enough time drawing on blank white sheets of paper and lined sheets of paper, should you conclude which ends up being better for you? Have fun experimenting and pushing yourself out of your bounds. The harder you push for progress, the more capable you'll end up being. Thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe if my perspective helped you with things. This would motivate me and the algorithm to showcase more content from my end. So, see ya!